Hey, you've been waiting on this for a little while.
I have, because this is all about social media and leveraging social media so that you can build wealth. I mean, it's like the world is so open right now, it's so open. We have so much access to opportunity. And we've talked about, like, one of the number one barriers to like poverty is like transportation and having a background and things like that. But these individuals who's getting ready to come on, they're going to talk about some ways that you can actually leverage social media and other type of tools to be able to build wealth. So I've been waiting on this. And I hope Lamar, where our CMO, I hope our CMO taking notes.
Yeah. He taking notes. He taking notes for sure.
There he is.
You ready? Yeah, you better. Hey, this is your field right here.
You know I'm tapped in.
Yeah.
I know of them personally, so I'm about to bring it.
Well, let's go ahead and bring them in. Bring them in, Lamar. Bring them in.
Let's go. Who we got first, Lamar?
So first up, we got Miss Jamia Williams. Look, man, this lady took an Instagram page on some low key, built it up to 75,000 followers, and then told her friends that it was her after everybody was like, man, this page cracking, you need to check this out. Make sure y'all check out Black Wife Life. Definitely going hard in the paint. She's huge. Definitely check her out. This next guy, JBthaGREAT. Man,
JBthaGREAT.
JBthaGREAT, man. Bring him on camera, man. Let's
First off, my dude JB.
Beam him up.
My dude JB. I said, JB, what you want on your contract? He said, JBthaGREAT. I said, oh man, legendary. Man, this dude right here, man, I've been watching him on from the background for a long time. He is a social media marketing mastermind and so many other things than that. I can't even put him in a shell. We had a conversation and we're just getting some gems. I'm gonna give you a key he gave me, and he said, get paid to think.
Keys already.
We ain't got started yet. Okay, Jemia, I see you ready.
Oh man, he gonna take it away. I'll see y'all in a few.
All right, Lamar. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Hey, so Lamar intro, y'all, but we gonna let you guys intro yourself. All right, ladies first. Go ahead, Jamia Williams. Tell the people who you are, what's your story, how they can find all of that.
Hello. My name is Jamia Williams. I am hailing all the way from Columbia, South Carolina. My husband and I just moved here 2 weeks ago. I'm originally from the DMV, so if anyone tuning in from the DC area, that's my speed. That's where I'm from. But I am here to really talk about how I turned something I'm extremely passionate in into a profitable business, into something that really is carrying me into the next phase and season of my life. I was actually laid off due to COVID, and I was already building kind of my side hustles and my brand while I was working my 9 to 5 for a 7-year stint. I am a D&I, diversity and inclusion practitioner. I worked at a technology company. So I worked on branding and marketing, communications, public relations, developing strategy and all those different things. But I had a passion for the Black woman, a passion for what it means to, go through all the stages of someone who wants to become married, who wants a longtime partner. And I turned something into an idea, into literally the business that I run today. So I'm excited to drop my keys, drop my gems, and all that stuff for you all today.
Hey. All right, JBthaGREAT.
What's going on, everybody? JBthaGREAT here. Excited to be on with Keys to Black Wealth. I'm really pumped up about this because this is the first time I've decided to speak in like 2 years. And so
we got him, baby. We got him.
Y'all drop those sevens for that.
Right. So I've been spending a lot of my time building businesses. I'm 29 years old. I actually got started with my first business at the age of 17, right before going to college. And I spent most of my college career trying different things out, but I had to have a side job. And I was slaving around at a restaurant making $3 tips at Applebee's, right? And I just knew in my heart that my life was going to be bigger one day, right? That I knew that I had a purpose, a calling. So I feel that we all, put on this earth for a purpose and for a reason. And so I knew that my time was going to come. And what's interesting about that is in a very short period of time, I started learning how to maneuver through the internet. I mean, I used to spend 18 hours, 20 hours, right, on the internet and trying to figure things out, building websites, building funnels. You know, I'm over here being CEO, assistant, right, CMO, CFO, trying to do all these things, right? And something just clicked one day for me, and it changed my life. Since then, I've been blessed to have generated millions of dollars. I spend a lot of my time traveling.
That's why you ain't speaking. You too busy traveling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I'm really introverted, and so a lot of people see me online and they see me do talks and stuff. So I keep my circle small. That's another thing that I'm going to talk about today. You know, a part of success that everybody's not always for you, and so you know, many times you got to have that tight crew, and a few people can, like it says, you know, when one or two are gathered, amazing things can happen, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the same thing here. So we're gonna talk about some good stuff. I'm gonna show y'all how I've used social media to build products, both digitally and physical products. Right now I'm working on 2 new brands, household brands, home and kitchen goods, right? Like I go into different mediums, you know what I'm saying? And so so I'm excited, and I'm gonna just pass it back to you guys.
Hey man, when we pitched to you, just said more in that little 3 minutes than when we pitched to you. JB was just sitting there like, "Yep, okay."
He was chilling.
All right, I'll do it. That's all he said the whole time though. But he gonna drop them keys for you guys today, and we're really excited. And this is an area we hope we can learn from you guys. You know, it's something that we can get better at. And yeah, so we're gonna get right into it. So I guess Jamia, first question is I want to make money on social media.
Right.
What's like? How is that even possible? Like, walk us through that. Like,
Yeah. So what I will say is how I'm going to start this is all the ideas are taken. So just put that in your head right now that every single idea that you want to probably do, somebody else is already doing it. And once you get that out of your head and realize that part, then you can be comfortable with then building something, because we're all not building, we're building things that somebody else has already built. We're just making it better, and we're doing it in our terms. So I would say when I first started, I picked something that I could literally eat, breathe, sleep, something that I did every single day without thinking twice. I didn't want to build something or make something pop just because somebody else made it pop. I made it pop because I did it like my way. So to give an example, for anyone that follows like love and marriage communities on Instagram, there's so many of them. There's so many like pages that really focus on Black love, black women, you know, Black families. And I saw like an area where I could kind of just insert myself in. And I was wondering like, okay, well, how am I going to be different? What am I going to do that's going to be different than the next? And so instead of really following the crowd, I decided to create my own crowd and figure out like, okay, hey, like, let me figure out how, you know, this maybe page or website is doing something, what are their followers engaging with? And then from there, it's like, okay, let me sit back and study and see exactly, you know, what they're doing. Let me read their comments, because through my research, a lot of these major pages with hundreds of thousands of followers, they're not paying attention to what their people are in their comments. They're not paying attention to who's tagging them in their photos. They're not actually listening, but I did. And I appreciate y'all for not listening, because I capitalized right on that. I did that. But the other piece to it is, I think a lot of people really focus in on the end game. Like, okay, I'm gonna start a community, I'm gonna start a brand, I'm gonna get all these followers, and I'm gonna sell them something, and then I'm gonna make money. And that's not really the method you need to go. You do need to play the long game. Like Lamar said, I started this whole entire community and no one knew that I was behind it. My friends didn't know. I had people saying, yo, is this you? Because I happened to put up a photo, and I have thousands of photos on Black Wife Life. I happened to put up a photo, and it got on the Explore page. And then my friends were like, oh, you were tagged in this photo. But wait a minute, this is actually you, because I personalized that caption. And then from there, it just kind of like it exploded. And I took something that I was so passionate about. I created, you know, merchandise. I created digital products. I created an ebook, which I'll drop because it's going to be $5 for those who are all, you know, in here today. I created those things. I've worked with brands like Married at First Sight, Black Love. You know, I've helped other companies figure out, hey, like, how can I use the community that I've built in order to make my community grow too as well. So you have to start somewhere. You can't just jump in and say, okay, great, I'm gonna start a community, then I'm gonna open up a website, and then I'm gonna sell something. You gotta do one step at a time. You gotta do one step at a time.
Yeah.
JB, you wanna go off of that? I saw you.
Yeah. I mean, spitting straight knowledge, like, you're so damn smart. I'm just, it's always good to be around people that like know what they're talking about. And it's so crazy because you mentioned the same thing. Like, I've built many brands people didn't even know I owned. And here's what's interesting, and I'm gonna just be very frank on here, that the internet opened up doors that we didn't have 10, 15 years ago. Especially like now we're seeing everything that's going on just from a social standpoint, right? Like, I have literally had people that did not want to do business with me because of like how I looked. You see what I'm saying? And so we caught on real quick.
Yeah.
Like, we caught on real quick. And so because of that, like, we've been able to build brands and no one even knows we own those, right? And so all types of people start buying these brands and different things like that. Probably had they known it was us behind it, they would have been, no, I'm okay, right? And so, but that's the power of going digital. And so when you said that, I thought that was really powerful. And another thing too, I think it was Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. And what was so crazy that he was really radical. He was so radical they kicked him out of his own company, right? Mm-hmm. And then they brought him back because it was like 90 days away from going bankrupt. You know what I'm saying? And so what Apple did was they created all these products, right? Like printers, it was an insane amount of things. What Bill Gates did, I mean, not Bill Gates, Steve Jobs did, he came back and he said, okay, we're going to focus on one thing, right? The law of focus. And he got rid of everything else and focused on the MacBook, right? Which brought in, that success brought the iPhone, right? Which brought the iPad and iPod and all these other things now that have, and so when you said that so many people all over the place, that's true. They over here a little and then they over there, right? And one thing that you have to do is first believe, because belief is everything. Like, that's 80% of the game, right? Like,
Please.
That's 80% because like what you believe right here, you're gonna attract. So if you are attracting, if you're negative, right? If you don't believe you can do it, if you think that, oh, I don't have a college degree, right? I got 2 of them, but a lot of my friends, they don't even have college degrees. Sometimes they forgot that I even went to college. They're like, damn, JB, we forgot that you even went, you know? I don't even use the degrees, right? You know, but that's okay too. But belief is everything. Like, I knew, that I would literally pray and ask for $1 million idea. Right? Like, I would literally do that. And I would ask for opportunities to show up and situations to show up and then recognize those. And belief is so big. Most people aren't believing at all. Most people want to receive, but they don't want to believe, right? They on social, you know what I'm saying? Look, I got to do this, so I got no keys on me.
I know, you got to get some keys.
Yeah, I guess the keys,
right?
Yeah.
You could just do the movement. We know what it means.
Just do the movement, right? They watching everybody and everything on social. Every successful person, saying, oh, well, I wish it was me. All those things. Like, it's okay to, just like you said, Jemia, that, most ideas people already on, right? And so, like, when we even look at Netflix, that wasn't the first idea, right? I think it was some other company that they were literally, and this was like years ago, they were trying to get people new movies within 2 days. There was no infrastructure in place to mail people movies in 2 days, right? And so that whole business model crumbled. Then you had a Netflix that said, okay, well, we're going to try this, but we're going to stream it live. So they're trying to get some money and stuff. And who do they go to? Blockbuster. And they give Blockbuster offer, and Blockbuster says, oh, no. No, people love coming into the store, right? They love the experience of buying a movie. Well, I don't know about you, but it's pretty nice to be sitting on your couch and clicking a button. You see what I'm saying? And so here's the thing. All you have to do is be right one time. Whatever your idea is, be right one time.
One time. Yep.
Yeah.
And you can change the whole game.
Yeah, so they say it only takes one person, one idea, you know, so I believe in that. And then also another common key for the chat that we've heard all weekend, and Jamia, you touched on this, is we've been saying gangsters move in silence. So kind of, you know, how you put your page up and no one knew it was you. So you got to have that stealth while you're building your business. So let's get into a couple of tangibles real quick, because we want to make sure that people can take away some keys. I don't want to take away all your gems, but share, Jamia, let's go with you. Share a couple of tangibles. So I got a social media page, right? Let's just call it, you know what I'm saying, Keys to Black Wealth.
I see what you're doing.
Right. So we got this social media page. Hypothetically, it's called Keys to Black Wealth. We're growing our following, you know, and we got all of these people with these social media pages because a lot of our market are entrepreneurs and they're utilizing social media. What are some key tangibles, some quick takeaways that someone can do to kind of enhance their social media platform to kind of, you know, trigger it to start generating some type of revenue? Something real quick that doesn't take a lot of thought. Like, hey, you're just sitting here right now today, go do this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wrote my keys. So I have like a little board. I wrote my keys all on little sticky notes. I have a bunch of keys literally right over here. And I'm gonna start with something that's so simple because one, we're in a technology we live in technology now. Look at us right now connecting on technology. And technology then helps you grow your social media. But you can rely way too much on technology and then your brand, who you are, becomes so inauthentic because you're relying on technology to grow your brand for you and grow your following and grow that. And yes, it will help you, but it will also plummet off if you don't actually monitor it. So my first key I would love to say is you need to be your own bot. B-O-T. You need to be your own bot. And so instead of trying to get a tool or a bot to, you know, respond to a comment, to follow, to like for like, you need to be your own bot. I think what made Black Wife Live pop so much is because I commented, I responded, I DM'd people like they were my girlfriends. I boost people up in my comments all the time. There was a photo I posted not too long ago of two best friends going like this on my page. And I say, you know, tag your best friend or whatever. The comments exploded. One of the women in there talked about, hey, like one day maybe I'm not wifey material. Maybe I'm not this. Maybe I'm not that. I went in there and lit her up from a good standpoint. Like I was like, girl, no, you are. You're dope. You're this. You're that. And they were like, and people were sending me messages like, wow, like there's a human behind this page of hundreds of thousands of followers. There's not a lot of, you know, kind of these community brand Instagram profiles, even your favorite food blogger or food page or home reposting page. You don't really know who that person is behind it. Like you don't know who it is. And I made a point to kind of make a lane for myself being like a private influencer. I don't want to share my whole life in the world with everybody. I don't. But I want to move around like I do. And so I basically created an entire lane to where, yes, people will, you know, you can pay, you know, to, you know, if you want to, you know, market and not market like images, but like if you want to pay to, you know, to promote your business, your Black owned business, like let's talk about how we can do that in an authentic way. Let's talk about how we can make you show up in a space that's so overly saturated, but you can find your voice and you can be yourself. So that would be my one thing. And then the other thing I will come up is like, you need to create a reason every single time you post. You need to create a reason for someone to want to come back for more, and make it like exclusive, like make it a little bit. So like I do something every single month called Couple Series, where I highlight Black couples. I have them share their story. I put it on my Instagram stories. You can go to my highlights right now and you can see February through May. It's right up there. But when I have that, people literally are waiting, like, when is the Couple Series coming? When are you doing this? Like, what's happening? Now I have sponsors saying, hey, do you sponsor Couple Series? Can we be a sponsor of this upcoming Couple Series? And I wasn't even thinking like that. Like, I wasn't even thinking that way. And so like, that's what it's saying. Like, you have to listen to what your audience is. If you're not listening to what you want or what they want, what they're in the comments for, then you're basically wasting your time. If someone says, oh, is this on a t-shirt? Well, you best believe I'm getting me a t-shirt right now. But if no one's talking about that, why am I going to spend all day long trying to develop something when they're trying to tell me something else? So.
Yeah,
okay, sis, you better come with it.
Drop that key.
Come with it. Y'all better throw them sevens up in that chat real quick. She just gave out like 3 keys right there.
Let me go ahead and take them off my board, okay?
You know what? We got the replay.
We got the replay. If y'all ain't catch that, get the replay. If y'all did not catch that. Hey, I'm just gonna let y'all flow for most of this. JB, talk about some ways you make some money on social media.
Figure out how to come behind Jamia. What?
Hey, you got it. Tell us some ways you make some money on social media, man.
Oh yes. So there's this. So one of my mentors actually he trained me to my first $1 million, and his name's Mark Hoverson. He passed away a few years ago, and he created this course where he talked about he used biblical scriptures from Proverbs and like literally taught from there, right? And so one of the quotes in there was, "The man that holds corn, the people curse. The man that sells it, the people bless." Right? So I was like,
hold on, run that back again.
Yeah,
Hold
one
on.
more time.
Run that
One
back
more time for the people in the
I'm
back.
paraphrasing though. Like I think, hold on, I think I
Go
got
ahead.
the actual quote right here. It said, "He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it."
Gotcha. So
Right.
sell it, not withhold it. Did he freeze it? Did I freeze it?
He like,
What happened? I was like,
it's the perfect
oh, you got
freeze.
it? Okay.
Yeah, he back. It was like,
The double working today. First Pastor Murray and JB freeze up right there. So you go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish your point.
Yeah. So when I realized that, like, I was like, people bless, right? And also blessings stay. Well, a blessing is always surrounded by the person that sells. So I said, well, I always need to be selling something. And so from there, I turned my social media, and this was like one of my first, I had one of the first courses on Instagram teaching people how to make money on Instagram, right? Like I was one of the first people to actually use sponsored posts on Instagram. I was on a waiting list, right? And so, and what, you know, before being an entrepreneur on social media was cool, you know, they'll be like, oh, it's a scam, or COVID happens, right? And then like everybody trying to, you know, work from home and make money from home, right? And so one of the things that I did was I looked at what I was good at in my life and I said, okay, how can I monetize this, right? And so I think if most people did that, like everybody has a skill set that you're good at. I don't care if it's cutting hair, like I don't care, doing hair, cooking, like you could literally start making income right now on social media by selling any product that you have right now or any skill set. If you don't have physical products, you can sell your skill set. If you're good at graphic designs, if you're good at, you know, creating beats, whatever it is, singing, right? Like there are people right now that will pay you to sing a jingle for them for the commercial. Like I'm not kidding, right? Like, you can go on Fiverr.com and put your skill sets on if it's digital. You see what I'm saying? Like different things like that. And of course, there's a journey that you're gonna have to go through, but you have to start somewhere and celebrate the small wins, right? Like my first money I ever made on the internet was $25, right? $25. Now I'm kind of like 25, like, you know. So
I'll take your 25 if you don't want it, okay? So let me tell you that. So if you want to slide it over here.
No, I wasn't saying like that. I was just talking about like I look at it now, but that was like that. It was such a hump for me. I'm still fascinated that you can make money online, Jamia. I mean, you know this, right? So for me, that first 25 was everything. You couldn't tell me shit. Right, that was my. I don't know if we can't curse.
Yeah, you can cuss. Yeah, we got church out the way. Even Pastor Murray wanted to cuss. He had to stop himself. So.
Right. That changed my belief. I said, if I can make $25, I can make $250. I can make $2,500.
Right.
I can make $25,000. I can make $2.5 million. Right. You see what I'm saying? Shifts, right? Paradigm shifts. And so start right now with whatever skill you have. If you don't have one, get connected with, there's been a lot of great professionals and entrepreneurs and speakers. Get connected with somebody and see how you can be a part and learn from them. There's nothing wrong with being a copycat. Just make sure you're copying
the right cat,
right?
And drop the mic.
Exactly. Like Picasso said, good artists copy, great artists steal. Figure out what works and throw your own flavor on it. It's just like a good piece of fried chicken, right? You ate, sometimes you add your own seasoning, right? That's what KFC did.
Love it.
I want to add to that, JB, because you mentioned like, hey, you're $25, right? And then like, okay, well, let me turn it to $250. One of the greatest things I learned or someone told me is like, hey, figure out how to make $1 a day. If you can figure out how to make $1 a day, then next step, make it $2 a day.
Yeah.
Make it $5 a day.
Love it.
Once you figure out how to make something, and you can start as small as $1. Once you figure out how to make something, and you're like, okay, all right, let me see what it is. And also don't forget, like I have in my $5 ebook that we will drop here in the comments in a little bit. I talk about like a reposting strategy. I grew my brand off of other people's photos, off of other people's content. Nothing was mine. I probably have a total of maybe 5 photos on that 1,000 plus, grid of photos I have on Black Wife Life. And I think the other thing that people do when you're trying to build a community like this, where like I say, the private influencer lane, you then turn it to be all about you. Well, everybody didn't follow this account to learn all about me. To be honest, my photos probably get some of the least amount of likes, if I'm being honest. Because they're here to see inspiration. They're here to read my captions. They're here, to get those things. They're not here to see me. And I think some people then will turn it around. So then all the brand and the time and the impressions and the engagement that they build ends up flopping because now they're trying to be something that they didn't set themselves out to be.
And even that they're not too, Jamia, right? Like many people, if we be real, are on social media pretending.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They see somebody else, like, dang, they in front of a Lexus, so let me go to my uncle quick. You know what I'm saying? And here's the truth. I used to do this crazy stuff too. Then when I started getting it all, it didn't even matter because also at the same time, I realized that it was better for me to be authentic. And I think right now, that's what the world is missing, right? Authenticity. That you be who you are. That's it. Like, if there's something you want to do, go out and do that. Because, Jamia, it's so crazy that there's people that probably some that are watching right now that have been wanting to do exactly what you're doing, right? And here's the thing. They still haven't done it yet. They're still in the idea phase. They're still waiting for grandma to give some of her stimulus money to invest into the business, right? They're waiting for, and I tell people it's easier to go to the top, right? Because everybody talks about creating this space, right? All the time, like create space, right? Well, it's a lot of space at the top right now. You know why? Because the bottom is so filled. Most people are doing absolutely nothing on a daily basis to move themselves forward. And if they are, they're doing a bare minimum.
I'm telling you, you've been in our conversations. Like, it's like you've been in our conversations.
Talking about the bottom. We like, hey, you gotta get the bottom.
Right. So I got a question you both just hit on, and this is something that a lot of people struggle with about social media is that authenticity and like how much of yourself, like for example, Jamia, I know you built your page, but you wasn't sharing your personal self. You kind of was like a ghost page, if you will. Like, so how much do you, what's that balance, I guess, if you will, like for people who struggles with the authenticity, how much do I share? Is there a skill to that? Is there some type of algorithm with that? I'm saying to be able to expose yourself, but still not share too much.
Yeah. So going back to one of my original points that I mentioned, you got to listen to your followers and your community. Yeah. So when I started showing up, or when I would get DMs, and when people say, "Oh, what have you been up to? Where have you been at?" And it's like, okay, so they do want to see me a little bit. So they do kind of want to, kind of see me. And so I pivoted my page. And even if you go to blackwifelife.com, you'll read the bio. It says, "Hi, my name is Jamia." Now, if you go to any other major, love and marriage community, or even any other, tell me how many times you see the actual owner's name in the bio, and not a link to their Instagram, because they want to use that page to make their personal page pop. I'm not here to do that either. And so I was listening to what they were saying. And so then I would just kind of say, okay, now they want to hear from me a little bit more. So I'm going to show up now in the stories. So almost make it a little bit exclusive now for people. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to be on the feed as much every so often. But I'm gonna pop up in the stories. The stories are 24 hours. And if you don't see me, then you don't see me. So now it creates that pull, like, oh snap, like I missed her. Like, what was she up to? What was she doing? I don't show up often, but when I do, it's, for a particular reason. So that's kind of the balance. Exactly. Exactly. So you have to think about it like from that standpoint. Like, all right, it's really about listening. You have to listen to your community of people. If you're trying to build something like that, and it can go for anything. If you want to do coffee, if coffee is your thing, you can build an entire brand and community around coffee. Get a snazzy name, Do all your pictures and images have to be about coffee? No, it doesn't. You know what you're doing? You out running errands, boom, picture of your coffee. Oh, you at a new swanky hotel, boom, picture of your coffee. Then, oh, wait a minute. Okay, now I'm gonna do a regular picture of coffee. Okay, here are some beans. Like there's different ways for you to think about it. Oh, you know what? Coffee, what gives you a pick me up? So here's a quote on how, on what picks me up. Same theme, coffee, caffeine, this and this, but now I'm gonna give you a quote. I'm gonna give you a book. Now I've branched out. I don't turn coffee into like a whole different kind of situation.
Because it adds value. And so like that's really the message behind everything you just said. It adds value to those who are, and this is why that like because there's some people, they share all their life to me. Like it's like 24/7, you see their kids, like
time for that.
you see,
Right.
You see everything, like they showing you what they eat, and that's what they've chosen to do, right? And some people find value in that. And then you have others who find small things to add value and different things like that. So that's what makes sense. If everybody puts value behind what they do, then you can still be authentic, keep your life private, because there's three types of lives, right? A public, personal, and a private life. Three types of life. And many people, what they do, and they wonder why certain things don't work for them, because they start using all of it, right? Some stuff that's in your private life don't need to be publicly on, social.
That's a key right there. That's a key, y'all.
Yeah. And so many people don't understand that. And so if you're able to separate those, I think you can be effective. I wish there was an algorithm like, one post a day about, your dog or what, but there's not. Jamia's right. Listen to what the people want. They'll tell you, you'll know, and you'll see what they engage with, and give them more of what they want. Like the marketplace. I don't know if I can say this because I got it from Gary Vee. Let me quote somebody because that'll be more appropriate. He said the marketplace doesn't give a fuck what you think, right? Excuse my language there. What happens is that they will tell you what they want. And so if you're smart entrepreneur and business owner, if your customers are saying, we're back on coffee, hi, do you have chai tea? Right? And then all of a sudden you have so many people talk about chai tea. Your ass probably want to be talking to your product development people about creating some chai tea.
Right.
That's how you're able to pivot and move in business instead of being like most people, they still stuck on the past.
So let me get in here real quick because we got about 20 solid minutes, so we got to get a lot in here. I got a lot of questions. I know y'all got some keys y'all want to drop to people. We look at all these different platforms, right? You guys, IG, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, yada yada yada. So break down, both of you guys can take this and pick off of this. Like if I want to start making money from social media, whether it's selling products or influencers, all of those different ways, and even talk to those different ways, like what's the difference between the platforms?
Yeah, I can start. So I focus a lot on Instagram first. And I think my success really goes to me paying attention to one platform at a time. And I focused even within Instagram, I focused on one platform in Instagram because Instagram has really three now. So you have your feed, you have your stories, and you have IGTV. So that's three different areas on Instagram where you can show up. And so I focused on my feed first and understanding how to make that how can I show up in the explore page? How am I engaging? How can I get more people to see and comment and interact? So I started on that. Then I moved into, okay, now let's tackle the stories. Now I figured this whole part out. Now let me tackle the stories and how I can then show up and increase my engagements with inside the stories. And then my third part was, okay, now let's tap into IGTV. What series can I feature? Again, using other people's photos, other people's content, other people's images. How can I then take that and create an entire narrative? So like when I get someone's photo or when I find, because I also still do business development, although, and what I mean by business development is I still go out and find photos that I will want to post. Granted, I get tagged in hundreds of photos all the time. My DMs blow up all the time, but I still want to find things that I really want to post. I'm going to create an entire narrative. I do storytelling through my lens, my words on someone else's photo. I basically make someone else's photo where they can see themselves inside that photo and it's not even them. That's basically like what I do. And so I would say like that from my vision and my brand, that lives on Instagram. That can't be repeated on Twitter. It doesn't work that way. Right. But if I tried to do the same thing on Twitter, it's not going to pop. It's not going. It's not. What I'm saying? It's not going to pop. Facebook, maybe every so often. But I have my own thing for Facebook. But it could potentially do there. Pinterest, it definitely won't pop on Pinterest. But Pinterest, people need to think about. Here's a quick little key or a gem for you all. Treat Pinterest like a search engine. Pinterest is a legit search engine. So you're thinking about a recipe or you're thinking about, whatever. You go into Pinterest and you type in, I'm about to make it later, shrimp and grits. So I'm gonna type in shrimp and grits. And so I started to put my content on Pinterest, like in searchable, using the same kind of SEO practice, because people go to Pinterest to search. They don't go to Pinterest to hang
out there.
Yeah, you don't hang out in Pinterest. You go to you go to Pinterest to look for ideas. So why am I not filling it up? So when people are typing in certain phrases, Black love, Black this, because if you notice, on Pinterest you have to type Black in front of anything if you want Black to come up. Right. So now let me flood that market. Let me now, when you type in anything Black, you see me. You see, not me, but you see my brand, you see my products, you see my services.
Love it. Come on, sis. Give up those keys.
Go ahead, JB.
No, I'm just always like, damn, she's so good. Here's what happens. That's why I haven't spoken much, because I'll be on talks and then most of the time, a lot of people they're just regurgitating information. Jamia, she's like, I know she's saying exactly what she's doing because it makes sense. And then it's actually very powerful. And so she's right about choosing one platform first, because there's so many. Now you got TikTok. They've thrown that in the mix. Snapchat back, right? A lot of my media team and my digital marketing team, they're like, okay, TikTok ads, Snapchat ads, because we run a lot of digital marketing. So we do a lot of paid marketing. I learned that secret. If you can start learning how to run paid advertising, it will take your life to the next level of business. Let me tell you, we spend lots of money daily, on paid advertisement. And she's right about how different platforms are, it has different views, right? So, and I think there was this little something, it was going on Instagram, how you had your Facebook picture, your Instagram picture, your Snapchat or something, right? That's literally how the marketing is. So,
I remember seeing that the picture and stuff.
Right?
Like your Facebook mood, how you are.
Your
Instagram,
LinkedIn mood.
Your LinkedIn mood.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Well, you said something, JB, the great. You said something about advertisement, and this is a conversation that we've been having as well. Just upon our research and talking to individuals, Black people don't spend enough money in marketing and advertising. Never. We talked about that. Yeah. And even when I look at my corporate, when I was in corporate America, when I was in nonprofit, the largest budget was the advertising budget. It was the largest budget on a line item.
Yeah.
Always is.
Even more sometimes than payroll too, right? Or just about the same. Brandy, most people, they just don't, and I don't get this. I learned this when I was first, okay, so I used to throw parties in college, right? Really nice ones, big ones. And so I started working with people that was throwing concerts. And they'll spend $50,000, $75,000 on the artist. When it came to marketing, it was $500 budget. Because they were hoping that artist, they can put something on the radio, the artist would draw everybody. And I'm like, man, if you're gonna spend $75,000 on an artist or $50K, you need at least your budget needs at least to be 20% marketing, right? At minimum. And most people do not invest back into their business. Okay, for example, so I was telling you guys I'm building a brand right now. I've sold the product before we ordered it. So I've literally spent the marketing dollars before I got the product.
Hold on, repeat that. I was looking at the chat, getting y'all ready for the audience questions, but repeat that. I need to get that. What'd you say?
Yeah, I've literally sold the product before I ordered it. Right before I got on, I was negotiating pricing to get the product rushed. Because I wasn't sure if it was going to sell. There was no need for me to have, tens of thousands of dollars worth of products in my warehouse before. And so I realized that if I can market and get exposure, that was what changed the game online, exposure, right? And most people aren't making money because nobody knows who they are. They have great ideas, great talents, great products. No one knows who they are.
Can y'all I'm sorry, can y'all break down like for marketing? I'm sorry, David, I don't know if you have questions, but I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you was writing. So like JBthaGREAT and then Jamia, whoever, like how are you strategizing your marketing budget? Like, are you putting money in like ads, like sponsor posts? Like what is the secrets behind like how you're divvying up that marketing budget? Like, is it going on radio? I mean, where is that money going within the marketing platforms?
JB, you want to start?
Oh yeah, I can start. I put everything into digital ads right now.
Digital, okay.
Yeah, I'm doing digital ads because people they're at home with nothing to do, right? And they're hanging out and they're consuming content in enormous ways right now. And so we're taking a lot of our marketing dollars and we're like investing digital. Radio's good. I mean, but like, are you listening to the radio?
No,
right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, a billboard's now cool to have depending on where you are, right? So a billboard in Vegas, of course it's dope, right? In your hometown, it'll let people know that you made it, right? You know?
That's a stunt. Like, I just want to stunt on y'all right quick.
Right. But if you can get on, and let me tell you how easy it is to run your first advertisement. Like literally you can go on Instagram, click the boost post button, $1, $2, $3. You can do $3 a day and just reach a few more people, right? $3, you can reach 100, 200 new people. And then also too, like all the resources are there. Facebook now has like account managers. We have a lot of them. You can go and chat with them and they'll show you how to run your ad. You see what I'm saying? So if I would put whatever you can afford and what's comfortable, put a little of that into marketing. And as you get more, just keep reinvesting. So every time you make money, I would put anywhere from 10 to 20%. If you can do 20% because you have the money, do that. And depending on what level you're trying to play at, sometimes you go 30%. But you should get a return back for every dollar you're spending in marketing.
That part. That part. That's the key right there.
So I love that you asked this question because and I think any good business and entrepreneur owner should obviously do like test phases. Okay, so I'm going to be in like this beta phase. I'm going to try this out. I'm going to do this. So I'm in a phase and I've been in a phase kind of ever since I started. And also to know, I started Black Wife Life March of 2019. I hit 60,000 followers in less than a year, like real authentic people, no paying, no bots, no nothing. I haven't paid for any advertising. I don't pay for any advertising. I don't ask people to boost me up. I don't ask people to share or like for like or follow for follow. I don't do any of that because I want to see if there is literally a way I can take my platform and do my own marketing or have people boost me up on my own. So going back to that couple series. So for instance, I create stories and I have kind of a slight background in kind of creative, graphic design and things like that. I create these really beautiful images in Canva. I'm sure everyone, if you're a digitally creative person, you know about Canva. If you don't,
drop some keys for Canva. Drop some keys for Canva.
Exactly, write that down.
Yeah.
But I created basically these very visually appealing stories that IG stories that tell other Black love stories. And I obviously tag those users on those. And what do they do when I tag them on the story? They then put it on their story. And then what does that do? People say, oh, what is that? And then what do? Come to my page. And then the next thing you know, they're in my DMs trying to figure out how they can share their love story. And now I say, okay, hey, the only qualification I have for you to be a part of my couple series, you just got to follow me. And that's my only thing. That's my only ask. And I only feature maybe 15 couples, no more than 20, one time, 3 days over the weekend. Again, it creates did I miss June? Okay, what about July? You got space for me in July? Right. And I'm like, okay. And sometimes
Scarcity.
I'm like, okay, you know what? I do have space for you. Or sometimes I'm like, no, I don't. But then I come back the next day like, oh, you know what? I actually do. Because you have to sometimes create a little bit of demand, a little bit of push and pull to kind of like let them know. Yeah, you have to. But you have to do it in an authentic way. Like I'm not tricking anybody. I'm not here to trick anybody. It's me being honest. You know, it's me saying I had a person who I'm including in June this month, because couple series is next weekend for anyone that wants to tune in and watch. It is next weekend on Black Wife Life. But she reached out to me and I didn't know. I had like 14 slots and I said, hey, I have to check back with you in an hour. And she's like, oh my gosh, I hope I really get in. And I was like, oh wow, she really wants to get in. Like this is amazing. Reached back out to her. Oh no, ain't no price for me, boo-boo, not for that. I'm just sharing. I'm sharing their story. I'm sharing what they have. And from that, it creates the views. It creates the views. Now people pay me to advertise their Black business. Married at First Sight reached out to me to advertise, hey, like we're in this new social setting. We're having our new season kind of be a little digital. It's going to be in Atlanta. I noticed that you have a lot of people from Atlanta on your profile. So like, hey, how can we get into your community? So people pay me to advertise. And that's kind of where I get my kind of my wealth from and my growing. And it's little seeds. When I was working, I passive income. I made like 500 not even thinking, $500, just not thinking, not putting in any effort, not doing anything. I got a full-time job, you know, making really good money. And then I was like, damn, if I can do this and not even think twice, imagine if I focus on this full time. Like when I made that first 500 from selling my ebook and selling digital products and selling advertising space, it was just like a couple of orders. And I was like, okay, I'm on to something here. So when I got that call, unfortunately, and I think my boss is looking, so my old boss, so hey, if you're still here, because he's friends of we friends. I love you. We friends. Good. He was a huge proponent for me. It's like having people in your corner. So going back to the beginning, JB, having real people in my corner, like someone like him, who really was able to help me understand, like, hey, I understand eventually you're going to leave this place. Eventually I see you being bigger than this organization and you're going to go and do your own thing. So whatever I can do now to help lift you up, to help put you in positions. So when that time does come, whether it's your decision or our decision, you're going to be set up, like you're going to be good. So you also have to think about the areas and the things that you're in right now. We are in an entrepreneur season. There's a lot of people that want to work for themselves, but you got to wait for your time. You have to wait for your time in order to, you can't just jump full in if like the timing isn't right. And sometimes you also got to be careful of like the power of the tongue, because I did a video, kid you not, it was November 2019. The Rona wasn't even, or at least we didn't know the Rona was here. Probably was here, but at least we didn't know that the Rona was here. I recorded a video and I said, somehow, some way, by the end of 2020, I'm going to work for myself. I recorded a video. And when I got off the call, when my dear friend / boss was like, hey, like, unfortunately, this is it. I went back and I searched for that video. I was like, I know I recorded a video, but it was like a video, like I was doing other stuff, like filming my husband, because I'm creepy like that and I love him and he's so bomb. And we were just having conversations. We have our own little like personal reality show where it's just us. I don't share the videos at all, but I think it's great mementos. And it was buried in, it was like 5 minutes into a video of literally the floor of us talking. Like I had, like I set the thing, and I picked up the camera and I was in a house coat and I was like, you know what? By the end of 2020, I'm going to work for myself. I manifest that. Literally put that out to the energy. So then when it came, I was scared at first. I was like, oh my gosh. I actually took my boss. We were on Sunday. He was reading Bible scriptures to me, telling me, listen, he was telling me stories in the Bible, comparing me to all these different proverbs and stories and of Joseph and all this. And it took him to really be like, you got this. Like you've literally generated money without even thinking. Figure it out. You got it. So I tell that to everybody. Figure it out. You got it.
So we got some questions.
That was dope. That was really dope. We got questions. We got a few more minutes, so it's rapid fire. However quick y'all can answer them, we going through them. Just cause what is the this is from Kiera Chapman. What is the secret to paid marketing? So that'd probably be for JB, huh? What's the secret? You got some secrets?
Yeah, okay. Spending money. Use Facebook for older people, right? Yeah. 45 and older. Anything younger, of course, Instagram. Test, like Jamia said, and just keep doing it. You'll get better as you do it.
Love it. All right. So, what do you suggest for converting a social media private account to a public account for business, or should someone create a whole new account? I've heard this question several times too, so I'm interested in response.
Yeah, so I have like 6 Instagram profiles because I like separation. I like having my own brand, my own personal, and my personal profile is still public. But I like having my own thing. I like having a brand, Instagram for my business, and I like having Black Wife Life. I also think the reason why Black Wife Life is so popular is because you will never see an ad or a visual ad on the feed. Now, I may have a sponsored post, but it fits right in with the aesthetics of the page. And so I really, if you're building a brand, and if the brand is about a specific product, service, area, something like that, your whole page needs to fit into that. If you don't fit into that, you need to be somewhere else.
Gotcha.
So I'm very big on separating the two. I also think that there's something in having an Instagram profile where there's very low followers, because, you know, Instagram took those likes away, and people who have low follower counts, you can see the number of followers with certain people. So I do recommend having like your personal page if you're trying to have a business page, and then just kind of like this old, I don't want to say a trolling page, but just some page where it's just kind of like there, just so you can tap into that when you need to maybe interact on a little bit of a low key level.
Offensive.
Sound like Kevin Durant.
Yes. I have one of those.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not gonna say my name out there though, because you know what I'm saying, that's my Finsta account.
See, that's so creepy to me. I guess I gotta get in with the times. Like, I don't know.
I'll tell you, David, but I can't tell everybody.
This is from Tara Worthy. I need a personal coaching with social media branding ASAP. I don't want to waste my money. Who is a go-to coach or service?
That's a
You
great
can call
question.
me. You can call me.
Damn.
Yeah.
You can call me. I'll drop when I get into the chat, or you can go to District Valley. Go to districtvalley.com, and you'll see all my services. You'll see what I can do. You'll see my history. You can see all that stuff. So just go to districtvalley.com. Send me an email. I do this.
You do this.
This is what she does, y'all.
Yep. JB, do you personally mentor people? Do you coach people too? I know some people. How do y'all both feel about that when people are like, "Hey, I want you to teach me your ways"? Do you guys do it for free? Is it a price? How do y'all balance that? Because people are always asking us too, and I'm like, I don't want to charge this person. Go ahead, like speak to that point.
Yeah,
It's a cost. Go ahead, JB. Go ahead.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Period.
I have my programs and different things like that, but like I'm high ticket, so it's like 10,000, 15, 25,000, 15, 50, 100K, depending on. But right now I'm not coaching, so yeah. But I always give value, and I have a lot of resources and programs. If somebody want to hit me up, I just give things away now. But I'm not coaching a mentor personally right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I do coaching, and it is paid, but I also don't. I don't have courses. I'm more personal. Like, I want to get in and understand what you're doing. I'm more so strategy. Like, people don't come to me for like, hey, help me create content. No, I help you create a vision, but I'm not going to be the one here figuring out blue on top of this color and this kind of aesthetics. Like, that's not me. I'm here to teach you how to make your brain work, so then that way you can do it on your own. You don't need to hire any of these other people, to do it. Yep.
Yeah. How important? Go ahead, Dave. You have a question?
I think we got time for one or two more questions.
I just want to know, like, about captions real quick. Talk to me a little bit about captions under these posts, because it seems like people are putting a lot of emphasis on that. Like, I'm assuming it's pretty important.
Yeah, captions are very important. I mean, there's really, to the Instagram algorithm, there's a couple of things that you really need to understand. I think you also, Brandy asked about this earlier. So quick example. So like I mentioned, we just moved from DC down to South Carolina, and I was vacant for like almost 2 weeks on social media. My DMs were backed up. I wasn't in my comments. I didn't really like anybody else's photos. I wasn't bookmarking, and I wasn't in the stories. My impressions went down 250,000 impressions because of that. So your algorithm actually has something to do with how much you're engaging on all parts of Instagram from that standpoint. And also, one of the biggest tips I got, or that I kind of created, a tip I created, when I first started, I made my captions snackable enough. So when someone, in the beginning, when someone shared it to their story, and they tapped it to where you can see the caption, they got the entire caption. So then that way they can see everything in the entire caption. So then they didn't have to click the more button to read more. So I created something that was much snackable, try to get the point across really quickly. And then as I grew, then I started making a little bit more of longer posts. But I don't do long posts all the time. Long posts back to back don't necessarily perform well. You have to mix it up. You got to have a one-liner. You got to have a paragraph. You got to have a long paragraph. You have to mix it up.
Yeah.
Yep. JB, how you talked about your team earlier, so I think this is kind of a question that relates to it, but also want to get into like a team, part of a team. How important is it to have a unified team on different social media platforms to uplift the purpose of the brand?
And I'll make this quick in like 5 seconds. That like, if you want to accomplish big, you can't do it by yourself. If you want to accomplish big things, you need a great team, and a great team can do incredible things. So like, I'll just leave it there. And I know because we gotta go, but if there's any more questions, like people can hit me up on Instagram. Like I said, I'm not selling anything today. I don't have anything to sell, but let's get Jemia's book. Let's get that into our program and different things like that. I'm just happy to support everybody right now.
So that's what's up.
Thank you both so much. Oh, we done?
We got a final key.
Yeah, so one key, you gotta drop your final keys.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? Your promotion, if you got something, go ahead, take it away, Jamia.
Yeah, so my final key is make sure whatever you do, you protect your brand. You have got to protect your brand. Invest in that money first. For those that are listening, my attorney is Jalen Parks. So she is coming up at 4 o'clock. She is literally the one that got me together with my incorporation, my trademark.
Yes.
So you got to make sure you do that. It's protect your brand. And you can follow me. You can follow me on Black Wife Life. You can look at my company, which is District Valley, on Instagram. You can also check out districtvalley.com to see what I am, to see kind of my services and my offerings. And all of my digital content is on Etsy. District Valley is the name of the Etsy shop. So you can see my $5 ebook. I will also drop it in the comments on Hopin after I get out of here.
Yes. JB,
tell us how to get the bag, JB. You talk about $50,000 for a session. Like, give me $50,000 worth of info in the next 30 seconds, man.
Dead ass though. A lot of times, I tell people it all starts here. Like this is the game I play right now. Like I play this game. You see what I'm saying? Mindset. I'm thinking like I'm over here. I'm listening to stuff. I'm like texting my assistant here. Get on top of this right now. No matter what you're dealing with right now, you can do it. You can make it. It doesn't matter if there's $0 in your bank account. Next year, you can be on a whole new level. A month from now, a whole new level, right? And the script I want to leave is, be ye not weary in your well-doing, for you shall reap if you faint not, right? If you just keep going.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Hey, that was perfect. We don't even need to say nothing after that, man. We appreciate both of you guys for dropping us with those keys. This was the bomb. This is dope. This was really dope. Both are dope. And we had a good time.
Yeah, definitely hope you guys will hang out with us and hop in and hang out and chat with folks today. Network, maybe. That would be great.
Yep. All right, y'all take care.
Bye.